As I said before you came on the air tonight, this is business professional to me.
I dress for the occasion.
This is professional to me. All right. I don't have wrestling boots on. We're not in a wrestling ring. This is different. So I'd like to have as best of a discussion, a chat with you as I possibly can about what seemed to be like you recently slipping into a depression and then coming out of that depression and maybe being back to your old self and just a lot of things that it seems like you've been going through lately, and I'm hoping to dive into your mind a little bit. But I'd like to start off with
Brave.
Something that people around the wrestling world have been talking about. You've been on the tip of everybody's tongue, and it's not necessarily for what you've done in the ring lately, but it's who you got to be on television with. Last week on NXT, we saw you speaking with general manager Ava, and in walks The Rock.
My boss.
Yep. I guess you're right. I guess he is your boss.
Well, that's the way he laid it up to me. There's this guy, there's that guy, then there's the final boss. That's my boss.
Did you expect The Rock to walk in on you?
I mean, clearly not. I was trying to get some business handled, which is pretty tough with Ava. I'm not gonna lie. She keeps a handle of her business. I can respect that. No, I did not expect The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, to interrupt me. But on top of it, if a superstar of that caliber could pick anybody on the NXT roster to brush shoulders with, to get to know, to get to be in the presence of and understand what they bring to the table, if I'm the final boss, I'm going to see what's up with Ethan Page. So, yeah, there's part of me that was shocked, but the other part, after the fact, no. He's a very strategic man, and that was a very good move by the final boss.
So the final boss, The Rock, walks in on you and Ava. He says what he has to say. When you leave, he smacks you in the ass on the way out. How did you feel about getting smacked on the ass by The Rock on live television?
It was like pretty much what I did to you after I beat you in the ECW arena.
Do you want to answer the question, or do you want me to get to the next question? How did you feel?
What was the question? How did I feel getting slapped by another man in the ass? I don't know. Do you want me to slap you in the ass? You could tell me.
I'll just get to the next question.
One of these?
You can tell that I took the time to actually write questions.
Thank you so much. I'm so flattered. What was the next question? Which one of these did you want to? Here, I'll hold it up for you. I'll help you out. Go ahead.
So when you got
this one here, this one here. Oh, you have a question about Cedric Alexander?
Completely uncalled for.
What was? You asking me about The Rock slapping my ass or this?
Ethan, I'm doing my very, very best. All right,
you're crushing it. I see that right here.
I'm a radio host, dude. All right, so let's. All right,
yeah, but you're also one of the best tag team wrestlers of all time, and I know that guy's in there.
Don't be condescending.
So how are we gonna? Are we gonna fire this thing up or what?
Ethan,
it's a pretty tight space, but we can make it work.
Ethan, please stop. I would like to talk to you. Okay?
Sure.
It would be very easy for me to remind you what happened in the ECW arena, but I'm not going to go there. I want to know how you felt once you got back to your home after NXT last week, or when you got back to your hotel room and you realized that you were sharing prime real estate, prime television time with The Rock. Did any type of unique emotions go through your mind?
I'll tell you exactly how I felt. I literally told him as well. I started wrestling when I was 16 years old. This is where Ethan Page was conceived. I always envisioned Ethan Page on screen with The Rock. Ultimate goal. Number one. Bucket list, let's check it off. I just skipped an entire line of goals to my number one goal and checked that puppy off. I got to tell him to his face that I got to achieve that. And on top of it, let him know what I brought to the table, got to show him how talented I was. And at the end of the day, that's the man that's in charge of the future of my career.
I do have to compliment you because I came on Busted Open last week and we spoke about you and The Rock and the spotlight that you shared with him. And I said, man, Ethan looked so comfortable. He didn't look intimidated. He didn't back down. He looked like he belonged. And it's very easy for listen, I know you've been doing this for a while, but you could be doing this for 20 years, and if you've never stood next to a superstar like The Rock, it can be very intimidating. You were not any of those things. Have you talked about being 16 years old. Were you preparing for a moment like this your entire career?
My whole life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Was I nervous when me and you fought?
Everybody's nervous when they fight me, Ethan, because they never know what fucking side of me they're going to get. Do me a favor, tread lightly.
Oh, no. I was about to pay you a compliment.
Don't pay me a compliment.
Hey, don't get too fired up over here.
Listen, please don't pay me a compliment because I know it doesn't come from the heart. Let's just have a good talk.
Oh, I was going to say, I've shared the ring with you. I've shared the ring with many Hall of Famers, many big names, many legends, many of the most dangerous men in professional wrestling. Just one step at a time to reach the top. That man was the top. I was prepared for this. I've been prepared for this, and I'll continue to be prepared for this. There's not a single wrestler living that intimidates me. John Cena on this retirement tour, hey, stop by NXT, pal. I'll look you dead in the eyes. We could do something. There's not a single living, breathing wrestler that would make me feel anything other than excitement for the opportunity to take their spot and their money.
You're bringing up John Cena's name. John made it very clear 2 weeks ago on the debut episode of Raw on Netflix that he planned on entering the Royal Rumble and attempting to win the Royal Rumble.
Good for him.
Is showing up at the Royal Rumble something that you're thinking about, trying to get an opportunity to do? And imagine if Ethan Page ever eliminated John Cena in the Royal Rumble.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely on the to-do list, 100%. And I would happily do that. But I don't have the same privileges as John Cena that I get to pretend that I'm earning everything and come on the microphone and say, oh, guys, I don't want you to think I'm just showing up and taking spots. I'm going to earn my spot. And then just announce that I'm in the Royal Rumble. I don't have the privilege of just saying, hey, guys, my name's Ethan Page. I'm in the Royal Rumble now. I have to earn everything. I'm starting in NXT, building my way up to these challengers, these championships, and these opportunities like Royal Rumble. So, yeah, if I could just walk in a room and announce myself in the Rumble, I'd do it right now. I would announce myself in the Rumble on this show. But that's not the opportunities and privileges that Ethan Page is being granted in WWE. John gets to pretend like he's earning everything while just doing what he wants. Good for him. I'm happy for him.
You mentioned the opportunities. We talked about you sharing the spotlight with Rock, and it just triggered the question that I have to ask you. And I'm not trying to dive into your past, and I'm not looking to be negative, but I don't care what your answer is, but I do need to know. Correct me if my timeline is wrong. About a year, 2 and a year and a half ago, you couldn't buy your own TV time at AEW. You were nowhere to be found. And when you were found, you weren't doing much. And last week, you're rubbing shoulders and getting smacked on the ass and holding your own with The Rock. Give me the who, what, when, where, and why of why one company saw nothing, but this company sees everything.
Well, this company is run by wrestlers.
I understand you as a wrestler, but please give me a little bit more.
Sure. They didn't know what they had, and now they do. I'm gone. These guys have me. They have the ability to do whatever it is that they want, and they have chosen to open a door for Ethan Page to absolutely kick wide open.
When I saw Penta on Monday night on Raw, and I believe you're friendly with Penta. When I listened to him after the match, I was saying to myself, and I said on Busted Open this morning, I said I could almost see him and hear him breathe a sigh of relief. Like finally being able to exhale because he knew that he got to the place that he was meant to be. Did you feel the same way, or were you too wrapped up in the emotions of the other place to fully appreciate what you had here?
I can relate to Penta, especially family-wise. Getting to see him on Raw with his family in the front row, his daughter specifically, in tears, was almost a flashback to me winning the championship in my home country of Canada in Toronto. My daughter in the front row, finally getting to see her dad fulfill his dream of being a champion in the company he's always wanted to be in. So, yeah, I can only imagine how Penta felt last night. Debuting WWE, Monday Night Raw, Netflix, who knows how many millions of people were watching. It had to feel good.
Speaking about knowing how somebody felt, do you know how Dante Chen feels right now?
Yeah, grateful.
Why would Dante Chen feel grateful?
He got to do what The Rock did last week. Share a screen with Ethan Page. I also just got him like a paid vacation. Who knows how long he's out?
I can't sit here and hold
That's like the cool thing to do now, bully. Stay at home and get paid and not earn your wage. That's pretty normal in wrestling now.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
I just made Dante a star. There you go. Collect your check, pal.
So I can't sit here and really come down on you for doing it, because I've done some messed up things in my career to people,
yes, you
men
have.
and women. But I want to ask you this. It's the taking off of the boot that I can't really wrap my head around. Like,
why?
if you would have just dragged him out there and put his leg in between the steps and the ring and the steel underneath the ring, all right, I kind of get it. But you went out of your way to take his boot off. That boot offers protection to a wrestler. You know that. It keeps everything tight. It keeps our ankles tight from snapping or breaking. By taking off that boot,
right,
you are deliberately trying to snap that guy's ankle. Just like you deliberately shattered Je'Von Evans' jaw, and you deliberately broke Cedric Alexander's hand. I want to know why you're deliberately breaking body parts on guys.
Well, for Dante, you asked why I took his boot off.
Right.
To get the job done the right way. My father raised me right. If you're going to do something, do it well. And do it better than everybody else.
But
so
why
you
Dante
might
Chen?
not have taken
But why
his boot.
You beat him. You beat him. What's
Yeah.
the point of breaking his ankle?
Excuse me? I just don't understand why you're questioning me. Do you have my career right now? Are you on the path that I'm on?
Nope. I
Right.
don't have your. I'm just curious why
did you
felt,
do what you did? Do you have an answer?
Fair.
Why did you do what you did?
I just want to know why you felt it necessary to take the kids, and I'm going to use that term, the kid. He's a young kid here in NXT. Why did you take Dante's boot off and
Because
go
it
out of
makes
your
me
way?
happy.
You went out of your way to end this guy's career tonight. Really, really early in the game. Why is Ethan Page trying to end the career of a young guy so early in the game?
Because it makes me happy. If you want to open your mouth, deal with what comes next. I came into the locker room today jovial, happy, excited to share the success of NXT, especially last week. Did you know that we were in the top 10 TV shows in my home country of Canada? Number 6 on all of Netflix. Imagine how many people in my home nation got to see All Ego stand right there next to The Rock, the final boss. I came into the locker room today excited to greet everybody. I figured they'd be excited to greet me. People are watching the show because of me. Big star on the show. Anyone watching me is now going to see them. Is that not how this works? No one was excited to see me. All I received was disrespect, and specifically from Dante Chen. So yes, it made me very happy to show him that he needs to treat me with a little bit more respect. I feel like you can understand that.
Whether or not I understand it, agree with it, disagree with it, I want our listeners to get a better idea of what's going on in the mind of Ethan Page. I want them to understand you better, and that's why I've asked you to come on this platform tonight, because I want to understand it better. Another thing I'm looking to understand better is your state of mind. A couple of months ago, you won an award from Busted Open. You won Most Improved Wrestler of the Year, and you sent in a video where you called in live, and you seemed like you were a depressed, disheveled mess. And then I saw you on NXT television a couple of weeks later where you were, it looked like you were accepting responsibility. You were thanking your wife for having your back and your children for being there for you. Je'Von comes to the ring and he's trying to offer up some, it looks like he's just being a good friend or one of the boys and just trying to be by your side while you're going through a rough time. And you decided to do what you did to Je'Von Evans, which is shatter his jaw.
That night, by the way.
Excuse me?
I decided that.
On the spot. Did you?
Everything I said when I came to that ring, I meant. I wanted to walk away from wrestling.
You were coming to the ring a couple of weeks ago on NXT.
Yes. I'm 35 years old. I have 2 children and a wife. I gave up my entire life to bring them here, moved to Orlando, uprooted from our dream home in Michigan. And I've been spending as much money to keep my family happy while we're here, and all I've been doing since losing the championship is letting them down. So I just decided maybe another career path. Maybe I talk to Sean, I become a coach. Maybe I help produce. I have no idea. But being in the ring in that moment was the last thing on my mind because I couldn't take another loss. Coming to the realization that I was willing to walk away from everything and having this 20-year-old kid come out and try and give me life advice, I was more than happy with throwing all of it away. My reputation, every relationship I built, every hand I shook to get to where I was, to stand in a WWE ring, to even be given a microphone, to share my thoughts. I earned it all. And I got a 20-year-old kid coming out there to tell me to be happy. I hadn't smiled in weeks. When I broke his jaw, that's the biggest smile I've ever had. And ever since that moment, I've given up on the thought of where is Ethan Page going to go in wrestling? Because that's done. I wanted to walk away. Je'Von stopped me. You could thank him. I would. Sean should thank him. Triple H should thank him.
Je'Von must have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm assuming that if anybody would have come to the ring at that moment, they would have suffered the same consequences. So
maybe not. Terry Taylor could have walked to the ring. I got a little respect for him. I've learned a lot from him since being in here. Better yet, this is a developmental, right? That's what they say. I disagree with it. I'm pretty sure all the ads get sold when I'm on the TV. New network deal since Ethan Page is being here. I don't believe this place is a developmental, but if that's what everyone wants to say, consider this. I have now helped Cedric Alexander develop grit. I have now helped Je'Von Evans develop some tenacity. Did you see him tonight?
I did, despite the fact that the kid's got a shattered jaw. He came to the ring as you were right after.
I was helping Dante Chen develop patience.
You have a very interesting and unique way of spinning all the things that you've done. So, yes, in your words, you were helping Dante Chen develop patience. Je'Von Evans came to the ring. I'm surprised Je'Von is even allowed to be here with the severity of a wired shut jaw. And it didn't take much.
I was shocked.
The look on your face in the ring said it all, but it didn't take much. It took basically a quick jab from you. Not that much of a shot to put him right down, as I'm assuming. I've never had my jaw wired shut, but I'm assuming if you did, the slightest amount of impact is probably going to do to you what you did to him tonight. Is breaking of the... Are you proud that you broke his jaw?
Yes.
Are you proud that you broke Cedric's hand?
It just happened.
Are
Same
you,
with tonight. It just happened. But Je'Von, I'm very proud of.
Why are you proud about what happened to Je'Von?
Because I taught him a lesson.
I can't say that I agree with all of your answers, but being in your shoes, throughout my career, I can understand where you're coming from. So why don't we do this? Unless you have something else you'd like to say to our fan base, to your fan base, anybody that's listening tonight, I think we end it on that. I think you've said a lot. I appreciate your patience on the show, your respect, the whole 9 yards. Is becoming the NXT World Champion, the NXT Champion for a second time your immediate goal, or do you feel you need to prove something to the wrestling world before you go for that championship again?
I've got nothing to prove to nobody. If I won the championship, I think it would make me happier that nobody else has it. Not that I have it.
Wow. That's profound. Fair enough. Ethan, thanks for joining us tonight. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.